Hello, good evening. This is the regular educational meeting of the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. By the power vested in me by the Toastmaster International and by the trust given to me by Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, I declare this meeting open. Good evening. Yes, before anything else, let us invoke the presence of our God Almighty. Let us bow our heads and feel this prayer. Lord, thank you for this time that we can be available and gather together for the regular meeting of the Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Thank you, Lord, because you have made everybody available and really raring to make the most out of this meeting. Salamat, Lord, for the kind of learning that we derive from this club and for the camaraderie and for even for the fun. Yes, God, let this night be another fruitful night in terms of takeaways, in terms of camaraderie and learning. Yes, God, we pray your guidance, and this is for your glory, Lord. We do it in your glory. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Okay. A Toastmasters promise. Yes, let us raise our right hand. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments,
to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club
to
maintain
provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations,
the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow,
fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations. Then, yes.
to serve my club as an officer when
Help
called
the
upon
club
to do so,
to serve as my officer when called upon to do so.
to treat my fellow club members
Treat my fellow members
with respect,
with respect and courtesy. To bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers. To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition program. To act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Thank you. You may now. Yes. For tonight, the program will be conducted by our Toastmaster of the evening. It is no other than Toastmasters Ryan?
Juliet.
Juliet. Yes, oh sorry. It's Juliet. Imported from San Fernando, Pampanga. Yes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you. So welcome to another night of learning. And this time, our theme is very exciting because it involves a usual practice not just in corporate world, but in normal household or even in personal or individual. So, and that is big purchases. So what does big purchase means? Means major expenditures, either tangible or intangible goods or services, which will incur. From the root word itself, big purchase, it will incur huge sum of money as well. Now, for individual, what do we usually consider as big purchases? Can you tell me some? Toastmaster Oscar.
House and lot, a Rolex, and a
Okay.
Lamborghini.
Wow. Yes, correct. A property, right? House and lot. A Rolex, yes. It's a big purchase because nowadays it costs millions. A Lamborghini, of course. Not we can't afford that. Only those who can really afford those who are very rich. And
Flood
we
contractors.
okay, DPWH.
Then,
Okay. And we also consider major appliances as big purchase as individual and funding of education for our children. If we're also planning for significant travel and luxurious vacation trips, that's considered as big purchase, or major renovations with our houses and homes. Now, how about in corporate world? If we speak of big purchase in corporate world, it means capital expenditures, capex, investment. You are acquiring an asset, meaning something that can augment your processes to meet your goal. And now, how do we plan to have a capital expenditures? Of course, we have to have an objective. We have to have an ROI, a return on investment plan. What do we get? When do we get? How many years do we get the return of our investment? And we could use several process or to get the ROI. We have the net present value and the traditional way. And also, what do we consider? And this is also being done like not just for individual but for corporate. We have to plan how are we going to finance our big purchase, our capital expenditure. Are we going to acquire loans from the bank or individual? Are we going to go on cash outlay coming from our savings, coming from our operational funds, or are we going to find new investors? So some of those things, those are the major issues and consideration that we need to determine if we are going to do big purchases. So there are lots of things as we go along with our meeting. We will learn how to actually how bits and pieces about big purchases. Before we proceed, we have 3 parts of our program for tonight. We have the table topic session, and then the prepared speaker session, and then the educational portion, which is the evaluation portion. But before we proceed, let's call on our language evaluator to introduce our word for tonight. So we would like to call on
it's Mark.
Tino. Isn't it Beth?
Mark, it's Mark. It's me.
It's you. Okay, let's call on DTM Mark for our word of the night.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Our word for the night is sales invoice. Sales invoice is a document sent to a customer with a list of products or services they have bought and their prices, any sales tax, the total amount, and the date before which the customers will pay. So to use the sales invoice in a sentence, after finalizing the purchase, the company issued a sales invoice detailing the products, quantities, and total amount due. Can anybody give me a sentence with sales invoice in it? May I hear from Toastmaster Sedi? Can you use sales invoice in a sentence?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. One of the core processes in our procurement is that we cannot pay our contractor if they will not present an original copy of sales invoice.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster Sedi. In fact, sales invoice is an important document. So if you have this purchase, don't forget to get a sales invoice from the supplier. All right, that's my take on the word of the night. Back to you, Toastmaster Juliet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mark and Toastmaster Sedi. Perfect. So we all need the invoice to be the basis of our purchase. And there also includes the taxes, the input VAT that we use. As a corporate, we use the sales invoice to get the input VAT to be offset with our output VAT when we then make a sale. So invoice is very important, don't forget. And that is also the basis in issuing the official receipts, like what has happened with the DPWH. They have the completion report and an OR was issued, but no works completed. Very good, isn't it? Okay, so now we proceed with our one of the most important portion of our Toastmasters meeting for tonight. We go to the education portion, which is the table topic session, and we would like to call on one of our seasoned Toastmaster. And I am really happy that I am always seeing him whenever I'm here. Let's call on, fresh from LA, Toastmaster Oscar Soriano.
Could use that to actually go online and buy a Maserati or probably check on my stocks. But I'm not gonna do that tonight. Instead, I will use the valuable time to open the vault of wisdom and inspiration as we usher in the table topic session for tonight. You have mentioned big purchases as our theme for the night, preceded by wealth, by financial management, and expense control. That's part of accounting. So we have some non-Toastmaster guests for the night. By the way, do you see my slides on your screens?
Yes.
Do we have any guests for tonight? Non-Toastmasters? If not, I will just refresh your memory about the table topic session. We are allotted 15 minutes and the word of the night is sales invoice. We encourage everyone to use this. Green will be flashed at 1 minute and then yellow or amber will be flashed at 1 minute and 30 seconds. And red will be flashed at 2 minutes. And you have a 30-minute grace period within which you can conclude your speech, and the timer and the light will still be on until you conclude. All right, let's go on with the business of huge purchases. And as I said, it's actually preceded by wealth management and financial management. Our first topic comes from Warren Buffett. You probably know Warren Buffett. He's one of the top He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. In fact, right now he's number 10 from number 5, number 1 being Elon Musk. He said, someone sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Someone sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Can I hear from Toastmaster Seti?
Okay. As someone who is a shy, an introvert person, I cannot imagine that I will be staying as a Toastmaster um for almost 7 years. I remember the time when I was shaking, when I was delivering my icebreaker speech. I remember the time when I was mumbling with so many aspirated pauses whenever I am speaking before the people. And I remember the time when I was struggling writing my speeches. But regardless of those challenges that I have encountered, I remain steadfast and still gathered so many things from my mentors here in Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. And now, with those 8 years of learning and still learning, I was able to reap what I saw. And that is something that we should learn, fellow Toastmasters and friends, that we should learn to plant whatever it is, whether it is a tangible or intangible things in our life. Because in the end, we will reap those what we planted until it grows into a tree where we can have shade, where we can sit because there is a shade. And figuratively and literally, that shade can be tangible and intangible wealth. And that is the product of what we reap from the beginning. So fellow Toastmasters and friends, let us continue to sow so that we could reap in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seti. You just hit the nail in the head. I think what is important is you provide investment in time and intangibles and tangibles you will reap and sow your results in the end. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Seti. That was a wonderful interpretation of the quote from Warren Buffett. Now let's go to the second one. Another day, another bag. Another day, another watch. Another day, another car. You see all this all the time in Facebook and social media platforms. And these people and a lot of different other people are social media influencers and purveyors of high-end luxury items. They are daily dose in our social media platforms. Question, are they boon or bane? Are they beneficial or harmful? Can I
I would
call?
like to answer that, Tito Oscar.
I'm sorry.
Yan.
I'm sorry.
Toastmaster Ryan De Jesus.
Yes, I was about to call you, Ryan.
I've been doing network marketing for the past 20 years. It is common practice within our industry to hype and to promote wealth and at the same time flex those things that you've acquired during the years that you are doing the business. But as year goes by, I realized that what I realized the true value you can give to the community is not just by flexing your wealth or making people rich. But the true wealth, I believe, is not through the wealth that you can gain in this world, but it is the seed of greatness, and at the same time, by planting the seed of leadership and developing people. As I learned these values by being a member of Toastmasters Club, I learned that by planting communication and leadership to the hearts of your people, it will give you a lasting business, and at the same time, a lasting relationship within your community. I observed the reason why Toastmasters Club has been with us for the past 100 years because it keeps on developing people. It keeps on building confidence in people. It keeps on teaching people leadership and how to take good care of each other. Those values that I integrated with my organization, I believe it will last even to my lifetime. So, fellow Toastmasters and friends, I encourage you not just flex wealth, not just follow those people who are rich, but those people that share the same values with you. Those two values, leadership and communication, and add it with love, I can guarantee you it will last even our own lifetime. Back to you, Toastmaster Oscar.
Thank you very much. Right. That wealth of experience is actually helping us, and that's a valuable lesson that we all need to learn. Toastmaster Bobby, are you willing to participate in the table topic session, if I may ask you?
All right, sure.
Okay, and the next question is for you, Toastmaster Bobby. The FOMO effect, the fear of missing out. Have you ever fallen over marketing tactics like, the condominium unit will sell soon, or this is the last piece, or the sales efforts will be done by tomorrow? Tomorrow is the end of our sale, or the value of this thing or this tangible thing will increase in value soon. Have you ever experienced this when you buy something, Toastmaster Bobby?
All right, thank you so much for that question. Actually, most of us, Filipinos, are impulsive buyer. So whenever we see new things, new services, then definitely we are, how do you call this, convinced to buy it right away without even thinking what would it bring, short term or in the long term. Maybe short term, it will bring something like luxury or something like a privilege for you to have this specific item or services, but then later on, at the long term, you will realize that you made the wrong decision. So I would suggest that instead of buying right there and then when you have this offer, think about it, and maybe you could tell yourself, I would give myself time to think it over, and I would really balance whether it's beneficial or whether it would be something that would be detrimental to my financial status. Then definitely that would lead me to make the right decision. So fellow Toastmasters, before you buy anything, just think it over. Just balance whether it's beneficial or detrimental, and that would really guide you for your decision. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bobby. That was well done. The next question is, a big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry about the what ifs of life. And this comes from Sue Orman, one of the greatest financial gurus of our generation. A big part of financial freedom is having your heart and mind free from worry about the what ifs of life. May I call on Toastmaster Rose?
I am in the middle of this. What if I am not able to pay my insurance premium that Armel sold me a couple of years ago. She's not here, but special mention to her. I am right smack in the middle of that. And I'm also in the middle of finding another client. And this time, while I was going through my job applications, I felt like my resume was a flyer and I keep giving it away, give you a promo, freelancer. You want a virtual assistant? Here, have one. I felt like I was just giving away my resume just like that without any thought. So I took a step back and I had a thought and I was humbled for me to be able to get that sales invoice that I want. I need to be more intentional and I need to target the companies and the clients that I work for so that we can have a stronger relationship, not just someone who I just pick up from anywhere and think in the future this so-so client would just leave me or I would just leave them because we would have differences in ideas and vision. excuse, excuse me. So now one moment. So for me to get rid of that, what if I lose this client again? I am more intentional of getting a more paired partnership. I'm sorry. So with that, be more intentional with what you do, even if it's purchase, even when you're purchasing, even in what you're eating, be intentional in what you do. And with that, I return the control back to our table topics master, Toastmaster Oscar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rose. Money matters is also a personal matter. And our personal lessons actually teach us to manage our finances well. Give me one more chance to, this is the last one for tonight. And it is just a picture. And you probably have seen this screenshot all over the social media platforms. And I'd like to call on Toastmaster Dan to put a caption to this screenshot and elucidate on the caption that you will mention. Toastmaster Dan?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I did not put a quote or a statement on this picture. It's a screenshot. I want you to put a one-word caption and describe that caption in 2 minutes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. This is a very nice picture of two people trying to do something good for the car. It is a very good decision to take care of things that you have in your life, not only material, but physical and uh, spiritual at that. In this picture, I would like to say that if you want success in any of your activities in life, you have to have focus. Focus is most important, especially if you want success, if you want to drive something in your thought, and if you want to attain goals in life. Focus is something that can be developed. It is not something that is easy, but over time, if you do things which you feel you are happy, you are satisfied, and you have a purpose, then therefore, focus can be a very good tool that could propel your success. Fellow Toastmasters, how many of us focus on our speech project? How many of us focus on our loved ones? How many of us focus on the things that we passionately like to do. I challenge you to be a successful entrepreneur, to be a successful family man, to be a successful executive. Focus is the word that we should remember all the time. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dan. I thought you would caption the picture umbrella. It's the picture this guy explaining to Julius Baba why she purchased that Rolls Royce. It's only because of that umbrella that was embedded on the door of the car. Thank you so much, everyone who participated in that table topic session. We learned a lot about your personal convictions. We learned about management of wealth. We learned about marketing. And we learned a lot about tangibles and intangibles. So we hope, and I hope you use all of those lessons to make big decisions for those big purchases that you plan to do. Back to you, Toastmaster Juliet.
Thank you so much, TM Oscar. That was very educational for our table topics for tonight. And everything about thoughts about big purchases and investment were touched. So let me ask a question. I wanted to ask Rose, have you ever made a big purchase, and what have you considered in making them when you decided?
I really wanted to share this. When Hamilton the musical came to the Philippines, I said, there is no way that I will not watch it. Our tickets, my husband and I, cost us my washing machine. It's the same cost as a new washing machine. But, yep, I just had to use the services of the outside laundry for that. Yes, and yep, I'm sorry, Toastmaster Juliet, what was the question?
How did you decide on that? You considered it as a big purchase. How did you decide? What made you decide to push?
Push through? I pushed through it because it's a musical that will likely not come back to the Philippines again, or it will come back, but only after several years. And it's been so long since it started that it considered to go here in the Philippines. So it's like a once in a lifetime chance that I would be able to watch it.
Okay, thank you. We're not gonna make it longer, but all I wanted to share is that whenever we make big purchase or big decision for a major purchase, we consider a lot of things. We have to think about the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages, like what Rose did. She thinks that this is once in a lifetime. It may happen maybe in the very, very far future. That's why she took the opportunity to shell out her savings, which is intended for the washing machine. So good on you, TM Rose. Okay, now we will proceed with and you can calculate the internal rate of return after that. Internal rate of return for you for that purchase. Okay, so now we are going to proceed with the another education portion of our meeting, which is the prepared speakers. And tonight we have two prepared speakers, sorry. Let me call on the first one. The speech title is Finding My Truth North. And the path is engaging humor. Speech project level 1.1, which is an icebreaker, the purpose of which is to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. And the evaluator, we have two evaluator for TM Lit. We have DTM Dana Palinga and TM Mar for his practice evaluation. So we would like to call on one also of our seasoned Toastmaster here at Meycauayan, and she is always going for the goal to compete with table topics and always winning, of course. Let's call on TM Lit Mabayad for Finding My Truth.
Finding my true north. I'm lost. Oh, maybe I did not sound convincing, or I did not look like I am lost. Okay, let me try it again. Nakamute ka. I'm lost. Oh, maybe there's too much exaggeration there. Yeah, let me try it for the third and last time. I'm lost. That's more like it. Believable. Well, actually, that's the state of my soul before I became a Toastmasters. I'm lost. I'm already a grown up, and yet I don't know what really is my strength. I don't know what my passions are. I don't really know what to do with the rest of my long life. I said it. Long life. Be careful what you wish for. You may just get it. But what is a long life if there's no direction, there's no purpose? But then Toastmasters came along. And I said to Toastmasters, you've come a long way, baby. But before I focus on Toastmasters, let me just share with you what club I joined in several years ago. During my elementary days, I joined the Girl Scout movement. Yes, and our Scout master taught us a lot of things. And one of them is about the compass, the use of it. First, she asked us, what is a compass? And we girls, we look at each other. We don't have any idea what a compass is. Again, she asked, do you know what a compass is? Come on, make a guess. And of my friends raised her hand and she said, oh, I think I know, Scoutmaster. Whenever my mom has a back pain, she peels a compass and stick it on her back. The Scoutmaster laughed. Oh, it's not even close. That's not a compass. That's a lompas. Anybody who wants to try? Come on, make a guess. And one of my friends raised her hand and she said, Scoutmaster, I think I know. When my grandmother has finished cooking the dishes, she sets the table and tells us, the children, make compass, compass, or else the flies will land on your food. And then the Scoutmaster laughed again. Compass, compass, meaning showing the flies away. Well, that's not it. Okay, let me tell you. A compass is a navigational tool that helps determine direction. It consists of a magnetic needle that always points to the north. This time, I'm the one who raised my hand. And I asked our Scoutmaster, always pointing to the north. Why not to the south or to the east or to the west? Why always pointing to the north? And the Scoutmaster replied, shut up. Maybe she doesn't know why the magnetic needle is always pointing to the north. Well, in life, I've learned that it is our obligation to find our true north. Our true north represents our inner compass that guides us towards fulfilling our dreams, making our destiny real, and Our inner compass is the intersection of our values, beliefs, and passions. So it's really very important. And because it is an inner compass, it must be an expensive one. It is not an ordinary compass. And for me, my inner compass is the Toastmasters Club. And yes, it's expensive. It's one big purchase when I made a decision to join the club. Imagine asking me to pay 1,500 for a membership fee. And every time it's September, oh my, that's just a few days away, right? And when September comes, we're going to see Judith. And who wants to see Judith? I mean, due date. We need to pay 3,600. And then again, next year, March of next year, we're still going to pay another 3,600. Yes, this inner compass is expensive. And yet the benefits that we reap from Toastmasters is so overwhelming. It's so life-changing that we do not mind, even though it's a big purchase or a big investment on our part. We just love Toastmasters. But in spite of all our efforts to stay focused on our true north, sometimes we drift away. And why? Maybe because we got hurt or disappointed. Maybe you lost a speech contest, just like what happened to me last Saturday. Oh, so painful. Or maybe we just don't have enough time for introspection. And when we don't spend time on that, then we really get lost and we get stuck in being lost. And that's not a good thing. And so this is what I want to say. No matter what happens, even though bad things are happening, coming our way, even when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember the Toastmasters Club, and then I don't feel so bad. I hang on to my Toastmasters Club because Toastmasters is my true north. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much for that inspirational speech, TM Lit. You might consider using Waze to get your compass correct. It's going to be a lot of waste or a waste of time, though, but you will reach your destination at the end. You don't need a sales invoice for that because that's for free, an app from Google Play. But yes, that's joking aside. I agree that joining Toastmaster is a big investment. It is depending on the propensity to consume for each individual, right? But for most of us, it's a big investment, but we are definitely getting our return on investment with all the benefits that we reap from it, right? So everyone, just keep on investing and investing, and you are going to get your ROI. Not even for a long period of time. The payback time is not going to take you 10 years or 15 years. It's going to be quick payback period. Believe me and believe Tita Lit. Thank you, Tita Lit. So now let's proceed with our next speaker. The prepared speaker number 2. The path is leadership development. The speech title is Experience First, Expertise Later. Level 5.1 under leadership development path, and the speech title is Manage
Hindi, over the past 5.
Successful Event. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. And the purpose of this project is to practice planning, organizing, leading, and implementing an event. Our evaluator would be TM Rai De Jesus. And our next speaker one of our champion as well. Just recently joined the Toastmaster, Meycauayan Toastmaster, but now finding her way to being one of the champions, not just in club level for sure, but I'm sure you will go to that highest level of Toastmaster, getting that being a winner. Let's call on our Toastmaster Chris Sevillejo for experience first, expertise later.
All right, class, for your final project this term, each group is tasked to plan, organize, lead, and implement a seminar on a topic of your choice related to marketing management. This is your chance to apply everything you've learned in a real-world setting. Yes, you heard that right. Before we take our proud marching walk across the stage, there's one last challenge to complete: organizing an event. It's not a surprise, and it's part of our curriculum, and more importantly, part of our growth as a future marketing professionals. This was my very first experience of organizing a major event alongside my classmates. From planning and selecting a topic to securing speakers, booking the venue, and reaching out to sponsors, we handled every detail ourselves. With little guidance from our professors and no external assistance, every step, every decision, every success was the result of our own effort and collaboration. When we first heard about our final project, we were all excited to dive in and do everything ourselves. But little did we know, the journey would grow more challenging and complex with each step. From choosing a leader to delegating a task, coordinating schedules, and managing expectations, the list kept growing. And so did the pressure. I wasn't assigned as the group leader, but I was entrusted with logistics, managing the resources, coordinating the essentials, making sure everything was in place. It sounded simple at first, but soon I realized that logistics is the silent backbone of any event. It's the part no one claps for, but everything collapses without. At first, we were all just having fun, laughing through brainstorming sessions, throwing out wild ideas, and enjoying the thrill of something new. But as the event date drew closer, reality began to sink in. And that's when the questions started creeping in. Can we really pull this off? Beyond our internal challenges, miscommunications, shifting roles, and the pressure of deadlines, we were also up against external competition. Other sections were organizing their own events, and suddenly it wasn't just about doing well. It was about standing out. Will we be able to fulfill the venue? Where do we even find our audience? What if our sponsors back out at the last minute? The questions kept piling up, and so did the uncertainty. It was no longer just a school project. It felt like a real campaign, a real event. And in that pressure cooker of doubt and determination, we learned to adapt, to strategize, and to trust each other more deeply than ever before. We learned how to lead without a title, how to listen, compromise, and collaborate. We learned that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every mistake became a lesson, every setback, a setup for growth. And then the day finally came. From the moment the doors opened to the last round of applause, everything just clicked. The venue was packed, every seat taken, the energy was high, and people were genuinely engaged. Our audience didn't just leave with new insights, they left with bags full of goodies from our amazing sponsors. We were all smiling, celebrating the success we had poured our hearts into. There was joy, relief, and that quiet feeling of, we did it, until the staff, the staff from SM Cinema stopped us at the venue. Apparently, one of their pushcarts had gone missing. And just like that, our celebration hit a wall. We were all thinking, wait, everything was going well, so why now? They told us we couldn't leave the venue unless we returned the cart or we pay a fine of 5,000 pesos. Imagine, 5,000 pesos. Were we supposed to get that? We're just students. Our budget had already been stretched to the limit for the event itself. We didn't plan for any unexpected expenses, especially not something like this. It was one of those moments where you just stare at each other, hoping someone has a miracle idea. Tired, confused, and still in our events clothes, we scrambled to figure out what happened. And somehow, through teamwork, a bit of negotiation, and a lot of prayers, we resolved it. How? One of our classmates confirmed that the boyfriend of our teammates left the pushcart at the elevator and second floor and forgot to bring it back to him when he returned to the venue. Afraid to be scolded, he and my teammate didn't say anything. We're just glad that there was a witness and that saved us from paying a 5,000 fine. Lessons learned? Plenty. But one stands out the most. Take time to discuss and identify the possible risks you might face when organizing an event. And more importantly, develop a contingency plans. Don't wait for the unexpected to catch you off guard. Prepare for it. I carried that lesson with me after college, and I still apply it today in my professional life. Whether I'm organizing a corporate event or a simple family gathering, I've learned to think beyond the plan. I ask myself, what could go wrong? Not out of fear, but out of foresight. I try to anticipate challenges before they happen and build backup plans that keep things moving even when surprises show up. My family and friends sometimes tease me, saying I go a little overboard with all the what ifs. But I just smile and say, that's the logistics brain talking. Because if there's one thing the experience taught me, it's that success isn't just about execution, it's about preparation. And sometimes the best leaders aren't the ones who shine in the spotlight, but the ones who quietly make sure the lights stays on. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you ever find yourself thrown into something you feel unprepared for, remember this. Mastery doesn't come before the moment. It comes because of it. Step into the unknown with courage. Practice with intention. Learn from every stumble. Improve with every step. Let experience be your greatest teacher, shaping your growth, sharpening your instincts, and turning lessons into lasting expertise. And build the kind of wisdom that only comes from doing. As Oprah Winfrey says, learn from every mistake because every experience, particularly your mistakes, are there to teach you and force you into being more of who you are. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, TM Chris Vallejo. Were you aware that, well, I'm sure you are, that managing an event costs a lot financially, right?
Honestly, we were not supposed to book the SM Cinema as our venue because we have auditoriums on our school, but because of uh most of all of marketing sections are required to organize a seminar, so we have to book it like beforehand. So we have there's another section who already booked the place that we wanted, so we opted to book the cinema instead. So yeah, that's why.
Yeah. So definitely that's in relation to our topic for tonight. That is a big purchase. That is a big investment for whatever group or organizations you have. You must have spent so much money for that event. And what you did based on your speech was right. You have exercised one great factor in big purchases, in doing big purchase, which is the risk assessment. So unknowingly, you are doing that by planning how to mitigate what are the possible things that or worst things that could happen with your event. And congratulations. Now, we are going to the evaluation portion of our meeting. And we would like to call on our import evaluator, general evaluator for tonight, fresh from the north. I've been seeing her joining the competition and winning as well. And I have heard her delivered her speeches. I think she was also a competitor in the District 75 DISCON before, no? Yes, you were when we were at Marriott Hotel, I think. But you only joined in online platform, right? You didn't join. But I know that you are one of the good and competitive Toastmasters from the North, or even going to be a competitive Toastmaster of District 75. So we are thankful that you are here tonight. We would like to welcome our General Evaluator, Ms. Zar or TM Zar Abenoja.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Juliet. A pleasant evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. There you go. All right. So, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Toastmaster Czar. I'm a member of Pine City Toastmasters Club and currently the Vice President for Public Relations. As Toastmaster Juliet mentioned, I am the general evaluator for tonight's meeting, and I will be joined by a panel of competent evaluators and speakers who would be providing structured and specific feedback regarding the performance of our speakers tonight. And to begin with, yes, may we also encourage everyone to use the word of the evening sales invoice in our respective evaluation. Now, to begin with our evaluation of the table topics portion, may we ask our table topics evaluator, Toastmaster Jeff Robles, to take the center stage. Toastmaster Jeff, please.
Thank you, TM Zork. For the benefit of everyone, especially our guests, allow me to evaluate not only our amazing table topic speakers, but also the table topics masters and how the session was conducted. Let me evaluate first our speaker number one, which is TM Sedi. TM Sedi, your response to the quote about plant increase was deeply insightful. You used your Toastmasters journey as a powerful metaphor, reminding us that all our present success is a result of past effort. That personal story grounded your message in a realistic story, and you're structured like a story message game pattern. For enhancement, I encourage you to emphasize certain key phrases vocally, like tangible or intangible seeds, to drive your point further, and adding natural hand gestures that can also help bring your message to life. But overall, well done on blending wisdom with warmth with your planting seeds now and reap the fruits on the future. Thank you, TNCD. Second is Temurai. Temurai, you tackled a timely and thought-provoking question about influencers and their values. You made a strong stand clearly when you reflect that also as a marketer, you also experience this firsthand. And you also divert the topic in clearly championing communication and leadership over shallow luxury. Your message was passionate and your use of gestures added to the strength of your speech. To elevate your delivery, you might want to vary your vocal tone throughout the speech. A touch of vocal dynamics can really keep us hooked. Also, pausing before your final message could create more impact. Well, congratulations, TMRI. You had a great message, and I believe it truly shines with our members tonight. Thank you, TMRI. For our third speaker, DTM Bobby, your response to the FOMO or FOMO question brought practical advice we all need to think long term and weigh on our purchase if it's beneficial or what you said earlier that if it's detrimental. So your message was concise, it's short, but we we get the message or meaning of your speech. For improvement, adding a personal anecdote or your personal life story. Maybe a time you faced a tempting last piece offer, sales discount would make it even more memorable to us. So don't forget also your gestures. They can also highlight your transitions in your listening. Lastly, and overall, Tita and Bobby, your speech is wonderful and it's very relatable. Thank you, Tita and Bobby. For our fourth speaker, TM Rose. All right. Your approach to the question on financial freedom was reflective. You took the question inward and turned it into a translated into a moment of self-awareness when you share your experience based on the topic and also remind your audience about um, building a strong relationship with your client, even if it's a customer supplier relationship, I may say, which is, I think, helpful to our audience and to the ones who are listening to you. What could improve the speech is a more solid closing statement because I feel that the ending is abrupt and you haven't provided the full closure to your thoughts. So a simple summary or call to action would leave a lasting impression. But overall, Temru, you did a great job on sharing your personal stories. Thank you, Temru. And lastly, Dita and Dan, your speech on the photo of the luxury car turned into a motivational call to focus. I thought at first when you have seen the picture, it seems it's very trending or it's on the headlines of the news. You will say something political, but I congratulate you for diverting the attention of the audience and focusing on something intangible, which is the power of focus. So you made it relevant by trying big purchases to having great focus to achieve success. So one way to push it further would be to add the complementary hand gestures to match your strong vocal variety. And that way your words and body would be in sync with your strong delivery and great challenge to your audience. Thank you and congratulations, Dita and Dan. And lastly, for our table topic session and table topics master, TM Oscar. TM Oscar, you expertly set the tone by expertly preparing the presentation for the table topic. I commend you for a good presentation earlier. The questions were on point, relatable, reflective, and rich in opportunity for storytelling, from planting seeds of leadership to fighting FOMO. Each table topics drew out practical life lessons. So if I may recommend one thing is you may provide helpful patterns like SMG, prep, past, present, future. So this will give our speakers a solid foundation and make the impromptu speeches less intimidating, especially for first-timers or our guests. Overall, TM Offshore, you provided the sales invoice. You showed the value-added tax to this table topic session, and we seen the true value of the table topics for in improving our impromptu speaking skills. Overall, it was an insightful and engaging session, and congratulations, Sam Oscar. Back to you, G. Stor.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jeff Robles. That was really comprehensive, specific, and I must say, very encouraging way of engaging our speakers for the table topics portion this evening. I agree with everything that you have mentioned, from Toastmaster Sadi to Toastmaster Bobby, Toastmaster Rai, Toastmaster Rose, and Toastmaster Dan. I also believe that you took notes of all the important details they have mentioned in their speeches. It's because you were on point in identifying the strengths and the points that would help them make their speeches more brilliant, or if I may say, more engaging in the succeeding speeches to be delivered. Now, I also have to commend our table topics master this evening, Toastmaster Oscar. I'm amazed with the diversity of the pictures and the topics presented. It's very unpredictable. So this is one of those moments that really is, would make me very nervous if I would be one of those speakers. But thankfully, our participants are really learning from Toastmasters, and they were able to deliver the respective speeches and point. Congratulations, Toastmaster Oscar and Toastmaster Jeff, for a job well done. Let's give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now we move on to the prepared speeches this evening. We have two prepared speeches. The first speaker is Toastmaster Lit Mabayad, and our second speaker is Toastmaster Chris Sevillejo. And to help us provide structured and specific feedback on how they delivered their respective speeches this evening, may we call our two language evaluators for the speech of Toastmaster Renelita. We have Toastmaster Mar Libiran and Toastmaster Dan to follow after Toastmaster Mar. Toastmaster Mar, go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening. Hello. Fellow Toastmasters, good evening. And especially to you, Toastmaster Leads. If you have a transaction with me and you were able to buy not a sizable amount, I will not send you an invoice, a sales invoice, because I got happy with what how your speech turned out to be. So, natuwa ako. So, I will no longer send you a sales invoice. Free na lang, especially kung di naman malaki. Yes. Toastmaster Leads, you did well. First of all, in substance, in organization of your speech, and your speech. Number 3 is, it has all the elements. There was humor, there was vocal variety, there is also a tempered dramatization. Another thing about your speech is it embraced the past, and there's a present, and it seems to have give us a glimpse of the future. Because your speech was smooth, I'm just wondering, and here is my suggestion. If everything seems to be smooth to you, that once you decided this is my north, my true north, I was wondering along the way, what could have been some of the challenges that you face? Because it was too smooth. It was too decided as if what decided at the beginning seems to be until the end. And of course, it was good that you have said that the true north is the embodiment of your values, beliefs, and passion. That really captured the essence of being a true north. If I may have some suggestion to make your speech really uh, excellent or near excellent, perhaps you can say, you can relate Toastmaster not only to yourself, but probably like only in Toastmasters you have mentoring. In Toastmaster, you will have a family. Yeah, you can become a member for a lifetime. But what you said is really true. If I may suggest also towards the maybe ending should contain like are we expression like uh, funny or playful like are we on the same journey? Let's journey together. Let's enjoy together. And until the day that we die, and this is a Toastmaster. All in all, it was excellent, and I'm greatly pleased. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Litz. I return the control back to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mar. All right, and we also have another speech evaluator for the speech delivered by Toastmaster Lead. May we ask DTM Dan to deliver his speech evaluation for Toastmaster Lead speech for this evening. DTM Dan, please.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. And let's congratulate Lit for a nicely delivered speech. Lit, your sales invoice are complete. You have covered the 4 elements to make a champion in public speaking. Your first sales invoice has a very good structure. It is complete and it is very stable that the logical sequence presented on it was beyond question. Sales invoice number 2 on the delivery, I would say that it is almost complete, but you did not submit it on time. Why? Because the vocal variety was not there. You need to complete the vocal variety, especially on a humorous speech. Vocal variety is very important. The poses as well. You have to have very good poses so that you can command the audience to listen to you. The third invoice was as well very good. Your pronunciation, your diction, but it lacked one item, which probably will delay payment to you. The volume and emphasis on major points should also be improved. So all in all, I would like to say that Toastmaster Lit, to my mind, has given me enjoyment tonight with the humor that she has given us and the stories, interesting stories that Lit relayed and gave us a very good evening to remember. So, Toastmaster Lit, I would like to congratulate you, and hopefully the treasurer of the company would be able to pay you on time. Good evening.
Very well said, DT and Dan. Again, fellow Toastmasters and friends, let's give a big round of applause to our two excellent evaluators for Toastmaster Lead's humorous speech this evening. All right, Toastmaster Lead. Wow, you were so sassy. You're a master teller in sharing your speech this evening. I was amused from beginning to end, Toastmaster Lead. And I agree with everything that Toastmaster Mar and DTM Dan mentioned during their evaluation of your speech. I have to say that Toastmaster Mar was so expressive in showing how he was authentically amused, pleased, and entertained by your delivery tonight. And for DTM Dan, also, he was very creative in using the sales invoice as transition points and identifying the strong points of your humorous speech. And again, equally, we are all amazed with your manner of delivering your Finding My True North speech this evening. Congratulations, Toastmaster Lead, and congratulations also to our two excellent language evaluators. Another round of applause, fellow leaders and communicators.
Thank you, General Evaluator Czar. Thank you.
Now, moving on to our second language evaluator this evening to evaluate the delivery of Toastmaster Chris with her speech entitled Experience First and Expertise Later. May we welcome back on the Zoom platform Toastmaster Rai de Jesus for the speech evaluation. Toastmaster Rai, please.
Toastmaster Chris, if you are a DPWH contractor, I will give you with the sales invoice that you gave me, I will pay you with 80%. For the rest of the payment will be paid to you by the general evaluator later. Toastmaster Chris, I truly enjoyed your speech. Right from the beginning, you gave us a powerful introduction. You came in smiling. That is very pleasing to watch. Your enthusiasm throughout your speech and with your experience about logistics and the internal challenges that you face. I really like the part when you say that failure is part of success, a line that truly resonated with me, and I'm sure with our audience as well. Now, let me share you a few suggestions that I believe can make you already inspiring. I can make your speech more inspiring and stronger as well. First, your pace was a little bit fast. Sometimes when we have a powerful message, slowing down allows your words to sink deeper. I recommend that the next time you deliver your speech, try to pause after key statements. For example, when you say, things are going well, then pause before leading us into the twist of your story. That pause creates anticipation, excitement, and impact as well. Second, since you were delivering online, I noticed that you look at your notes about half of the time. So you could even be more engaging if you will aim for at least 80% of your time contact with the camera. That way, your audience will feel that you are speaking directly to them. Third, Toastmaster Chris, I'd like you to connect your speech to something we practice in our company. After every event with our company, we always conduct a post-mortem assessment, a review that went well, where what we could improve and the lessons we learned from the event. Then this is then written into a report so that future leaders and students can benefit from the experience of the team. Toastmaster Chris, this is something you may consider next time you organize an event. Lastly, learn from every experience. To make it unforgettable, slow down. When you deliver it, let your voice carry the weight and conviction. Chris, overall, this is a well structured and inspiring speech. You gave us a message worth remembering, and I will let the Commission on Audit do the 20% if you will be paid 100% for the project that you delivered. Thank you. Back to our general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rai, for that very comprehensive and structured evaluation of Toastmaster Chris's delivery this evening. Now, first thing that I would like to commend would be the authority in your voice, the conviction when you deliver certain points regarding the speech of Toastmaster Chris this evening. And perhaps for further improvement, and this is also one thing that I'm trying to learn, is when we are so convicted with what we are saying, the tendency is we become so oblivious of the hand gestures that we are using. For example, you might not be mindful of the pointing of the hand. Some people or some culture might find it offensive, or perhaps they might find it aggressive. So we have to be more mindful of our hand gestures. But other than that, Toastmaster Rai, I believe that Toastmaster Chris did not only learn from that, but I know that she will incorporate all the pointers that you have elaborated during your evaluation. And to Toastmaster Chris, one thing also that I would like to point out would be the intentional uses of pause. Pause is power when we deliver speeches. It is as important as the words that we say because it gives us the opportunity to breathe, to determine what emotion will be embedded in the words that we are about to say. Now, perhaps you have noticed, and even other Toastmasters, that when we do impromptu speeches, the intonation is different from how we structure or how we display our intonation when we are reading something. Reading a speech versus delivering a spoken speech are these are two, or should I say, they entail two different nuances when you are delivering a speech. So perhaps one thing that could help us improve our delivery is after memorizing or after mastering the structure of our written speech, we try to rehearse it using the spoken language. Other than that, congratulations, Toastmaster Chris, and to your evaluator, Toastmaster Ryan. A big round of applause, fellow leaders and communicators. Now, after the education portion, we also have the evaluation of the different roles that were undertaken this evening. And to begin with, may we have the language report evaluation to be delivered by no other than the TM Mark. The TM Mark, take it away.
Language evaluation is one of the toughest roles in a Toastmasters meeting. And when you did it, you're accomplished for the meeting. Fellow Toastmasters, I will give you my accomplishment report. But before that, let's revisit the down payment, which was the use of the word of the day or word of the night, the sales invoice. Sales invoice was used by the following members of our club for tonight's meeting. Juliet used it once, Rose once, Mar once, Zar twice, Dan thrice, and Rai once. And this accomplishment report has two phases. So we have these two phases of the project. First one of the project has been done, and this is the trash or the germs or the rubbish. So it includes the lapses in grammar usage, and I found only two of the trash or rubbish that I have encountered during this meeting. One, I heard somebody said when they go back there when they go back here in the Philippines, so the correct word should have been, or the correct sentence should have been, when they come back here in the Philippines. It should be come back here in the Philippines. And then I heard somebody said when that person was telling a story, you also divert the topic. It should have been, you also diverted the topic. So that's the first phase of the accomplishment report. The second phase of the accomplishment report was the treasure, or the gems, or the rubies. So I heard Toastmaster Rai said that TM Toastmaster exists for the past 100 years is because it learns how to value people. Then I heard Toastmaster Lit mentioning joining Toastmasters was a big purchase I had in my life. And then there were two treasures from Toastmaster Chris. One was the use of a rhetorical device, pressure cooker of doubt and depression. And then the second one is that mastery comes not before the moment, it comes with it. So, and the phase two of that project has been done according to my accomplishment report. So, fellow Toastmasters, I have already given you my supplier invoice. Now, I know that you will execute the payment run so that I can issue my next sales invoice later on for the timers report. Back to you, Toastmaster Czar.
Thank you so much, DTM Mark. That was a very creative way of delivering our language evaluation report this evening. And it is not always an easy task to be the language evaluator because you do not only focus on the grammatical accuracy, but at times we also focus on the lexical or word usage. And at times we also give our comments on the phonological control. And when we say phonological control, it has something to do with the prosody, the intonation, or the pronunciation of a particular word. Thank you so much, DTM Mark. Now we move on to our fame evaluator this evening. It is my first time to hear fame in lieu of the word the counter. So, ladies and gentlemen, may we ask our Toastmaster Rose to please deliver our report on the feeler and motion evaluation. Toastmaster Rose, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zarina. I'd like to ask everyone, how much would you give to lose your crutches? Like what Toastmaster Lit said earlier, we may need to make a big purchase, and that is our membership here in Toastmasters. Now, those who need to invest more TM time are, let's see here, Toastmaster Juliet, you have 3 us, 2 ums, and a repetitive phrase. Toastmaster Mar, just 3 ums for you. Toastmaster Jeff, 3 ums and a repetitive phrase. For Toastmaster Bobby, I noted 7 us. So please invest more of your time in TM meetings. For those who are already reaping their return on investments, Toastmaster Rai just said 1 Toastmaster Dan also just 1 Toastmaster Chris, Mark, Sedi, and Toastmaster Oscar. They were perfect. No us or ums. I forgot. Toastmasters Arena, you had 2 us. I noted. Okay. And that was for the counter. For the motion report, I would just like to note for Toastmaster, I noticed that he was leaning on one side. So just that it's it does not look balanced, just that. Maybe for if you're saying the improvement here and for the good parts on the other side, probably that would have worked. But otherwise, yes, please take note of how we project ourselves in the monitor as well. And with that, I would like to remind everyone, great job. Yes, let's have a clap for everyone. And for making big purchases, it's not just the monetary amount that we think of. Sometimes you have to think of our emotional investment. And for Toastmasters, we have to think of the time. Can we attend? As in our Toastmasters promise number 1. And with that, I return the control back to our general evaluator, Toastmasters Serena.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rose. That was a fun way of delivering your feeler and motion evaluation report this evening. It's really my first time to hear about fame, and I think I'm loving the term. It's fame instead of saying a counter or the Wizard of Oz. All right, and of course we are very, should I say, we are counting our feelers or our crutches. It is because we wanted to optimize our time every time that we deliver a speech. And so please don't feel bad if we are counting us and ums and all hesitation markers, because these are all efforts to help us become better and efficient speakers. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rose. Now we move on to another equally important report for a role taken this evening. Let's go back to our DTM mark for our timers report and see how we made use of our time this evening. DTM mark.
Fellow Toastmasters, I am your repeat contractor because Meycauayan Toastmasters Club has been a good payer. Now, I will be delivering the evaluation regarding the usage of time for every one of us. And generally, majority of you has been a good payer. Some are overdue. Now, our meeting started at 7 p.m., exactly 7 p.m. Actually, it could have been started earlier than that because of the discipline that we have had during our meeting. Or, in fact, in every meeting that we are here at 6:45, 6:50 p.m. And I thank you for that. And now, let's continue on with the timer's evaluation on table topics. I congratulate you because Toastmasters Sedi, Rai, Bobby, Rose, and Dan delivered their speeches on table topics within allotted time. So it is between 1 to 2.5 minutes. For our prepared speaker, Toastmaster Lit, that for icebreaker, it is 4 to 6 minutes. However, our Toastmaster of the evening earlier mentioned that it was 5 to 7 minutes. So, good news for you, Toastmaster Lit. You delivered your speech for 6 minutes and 53 seconds. And for the virtue of our Toastmasters of the evening's time being mentioned earlier, you are within time. You are within time. And for Toastmaster Chris, unfortunately, you are overdue by 3 seconds. For our table topics evaluator, Jeff, you delivered your table topics evaluation for 7 minutes and 23 seconds. The table topics session had 5 speakers and 1 table topics master. That means there should be 6 minutes and then 2 minutes for your introduction and conclusion. Therefore, out of 8 minutes, you delivered it within your time allotment. For our prepared speech evaluators, Toastmaster Mar, overdue by 8 seconds. And we are glad that our very own distinguished Toastmaster Dan delivered his evaluation within time, 3 minutes and 1 second. For Toastmaster Right to evaluate Toastmaster Chris over time by 10 seconds. And then finally, for our fame or feelers and motion evaluator, Rose, you delivered your evaluation within your allotted time. It was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Fellow Toastmasters, you're a good payer, and I am excited to see you again, to see you on our regular meetings, actually even in our special meetings. And because it's 8:38, and we have more time for our fellowship. Back to you, Toastmaster Czar.
Thank you so much, DTM Mark. I know it's not easy to be the language evaluator and timer at the same time because you need to have 4 ears to do that. And you did an amazing report on doing your timers report, Toastmaster Mark. And with that, before I would give, did I fail to, or are there other evaluators whom I failed to mention? I guess that's it, no? So before I give my general evaluation for tonight's meeting, again, let's not forget our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Juliet. Fellow communicators, let's give a big round of applause to our lovely Toastmaster of the evening tonight. She has a very amiable aura on screen, and at the same time, the energy that she is giving us is also matched by the enthusiasm in her voice. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Juliet, for leading us through from the very beginning of our meeting until the end of our educational portion. And I have to say that the transition from one part of the program to another part was really smooth. I love the ad libs in between. You were able to relate every speech, every role to the theme that we have this evening, which is big purchases, and the word of the night, which is sales invoice. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Juliet. You were very inspiring, and you were very encouraging to all of our speakers and evaluators as well. Now for our general evaluation. First of all, DTM Mark, thank you so much for inviting me this evening. I have not attended Toastmasters meeting for quite some time. It's because of my duties at work, traveling from Cebu to Baguio every now and then. And so it's a privilege for me if I get the chance to visit one Toastmasters club in a month. I have to say that even before the start of this meeting, I was already impressed with the newsletter that you have sent me ahead of time. And it gave me a comprehensive understanding of the club itself. It speaks of excellence, it speaks of enthusiasm in every positive word that I could think about Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. All the information that I need to know, it's already there. And so I believe that whoever would be joining Meycauayan Toastmasters Club, they can already follow the flow, whether it's their first time or their end time to join the Toastmasters meeting. Congratulations on that. Now, before we started the meeting at 7 p.m., I was logged in around 6:45, and it's inspiring to see DTM Mark finalizing the role with those who were present before the meeting started. There was a disclaimer, there was an engaging opening video. I think we don't have that in Pine City Toastmasters, and that opening video actually set the tone and the mood of the meeting. And I believe we were able to maintain that from beginning to the end. Also, the topics chosen for the table topics portion, although I have to say it's really challenging, Toastmaster Oscar, but I'm also in awe because all of our Toastmasters participants this evening did a very good job in elaborating and explicating every detail of the pictures, the quotations assigned to them. The evaluators were equally awesome, giving comprehensive suggestions, feedback, structured recommendations so that our speakers could further improve their speeches. And of course, our role takers, our language evaluator slash timer, and our fame reporter at the same time, you did all great job in making this meeting a really awesome one. And finally, thank you so much again for this opportunity for being your general evaluator. I promise to be better next time that you will invite me. Thank you for the opportunity, and back to you, our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Juliet.
Thank you so much, TM Czar. We are the ones privileged of having you here, and we're looking forward for another meeting night with you as our evaluator or doing a role in our meeting. We're really looking forward for that. Now, we have come to the end. Before I turn over the control to our president, we have to settle the final invoice. But remember this, always be wise, being an individual or being a decision maker in a corporate world. We always have to do thorough planning if we are going to enter or do a major purchase or a capital expenditures. Always determine the benefits that it will give for the company, that it will give for you, for your family, and also calculate the risk. And are we financially capable? Are we mentally or emotionally able to accept whatever result is going to achieve in pursuit of that purchase, in pursuit of that major expenditure? Always remember, a buyer needs 100 eyes, a seller not a one. So, okay, back to you, our president, for some announcement, or our vice president for education for the egress portion.
To our prepared speakers, please mark your speech projects as completed right after this meeting. To our prepared speech evaluators, you may now complete and send the digital evaluation forms to your assigned speakers. As your Vice President for Education, I encourage every member to prepare 2 speech projects in advance so each of us may be ready to deliver a speech in case we lack prepared speakers due to any circumstances. Congratulations, Toastmaster Oscar, for completing the Level 3 of Effective Coaching Path, and Toastmaster Chris for completing the Level 4 of Leadership Development Path. Now turn on your microphones and greet Toastmasters Juliet and distinguished Toastmaster Dan a happy birthday this August.
Happy birthday
Happy
po.
birthday!
Juliet,
Happy
Dan, happy birthday.
Juliet, happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
It's
Oh,
the
dami kong utang sa inyo, ha. Kita-kits tayo.
Yeah.
Of course, magkikita-kits tayo because get ready with your own speeches for our club level speech contests for the evaluation, humorous, table topics, and international categories. Feel free to approach me if you are willing to join in any of these categories. This club level speech contest will be part of our quarterly face-to-face club meetings. We will do our best to come up with a mentoring system to prepare the contestants for these club level speech contests. Our next educational meeting will be on September 9, 2025 at 7 p.m. And the theme will be Bill of Rights, as we will learn our rights as a human being as mentioned in the Article 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution. This will be hosted by Toastmaster Oscar as our Toastmaster for that evening. Our WMS held every first and third Saturday of the month at 2 p.m. via Zoom. We will have focus group discussions about selected articles from the Toastmasters magazine so we can learn more from different people across the planet. On September 6, we will have a focus group discussion on Trust Me. Start with yourself and others will follow from the August 2025 edition of Toastmasters magazine, page 19. This will be followed by prepared speeches from our fellow members. The weekend mentoring session is open to Meycauayan, DYCI, and NB Consulting Toastmasters clubs. To our viewers on our social media platform, we invite you to join us to our regular educational meetings every second and fourth Tuesday of the month at 7 to 9:30 p.m. This is done online via Zoom. Admission is free and follow us on our official social media accounts. For more personal and professional lessons about communication and leadership, download the previous issues of The Toast, the official e-newsletter of Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Download it for free by scanning the QR code at your screen. It is fulfilling when you have this one big purchase that you have ever dreamed of, especially when this purchase is a product of your hard work and savings. However, before purchasing these big items, research well, especially on the post-sale support, insurance, and warranties. If you are purchasing a big item from outside the country, ensure to have an international warranty. Also, it is better to keep the sales invoices for these items. Who knows? You could use it at any time. Fellow Toastmasters, see you next meeting. I am your Vice President for Education, Mark Edrada, and this is the family that keeps up and looks further in learning more. This is Meycauayan Toastmasters Club. Back to you, President Mar.
Can I be heard?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The theme tonight is very appropriate. Big purchase. The real deal is Toastmasters International, because Toastmasters International churns out products that are of good quality. So the people here are actually the products that the Toastmaster can be proud of. There are products that are made individually based on their experience, and everybody has contribution. So the real deal is Toastmaster International, and it has been an evening of learning. It has been an evening of fun. Despite of the intermittent disconnection, we still was able to come out big with this meeting. Thank you for the General Evaluator, TM Sir, and for our guests, and for everybody whose contribution is just so invaluable. With the powers vested in me by the Toastmaster International, I am now adjourned this meeting.
In our club we gather here, Meycauayan friends so near, leadership we hold so dear. Public speaking brings us pride. Together we stand side by side. In this family we confide. Rise and lead. Together we succeed. In our hearts we believe. Rise and lead. Facing fears one step at a time. force. Our family's a powerful source. Rise and lead. Together we succeed. In our hearts we believe. Rise and lead. Hand in hand we chart our course. Unity is our greatest force. Our family's a powerful